And joining me now is actor politician Khushbu Sundar. Ma'am, really appreciate your time here on NDTV. You have put out a rather encouraging post, I would say, in which you have backed all women who have got this courage to come out and speak against their tormentors. What you are seeing play out in Malayalam film industry, would you say that this is almost like an open secret, and that you're glad that those who are, perhaps the actors, producers and all are now coming out and showing that dirty picture or dark side of the film industry?
The dirty picture, the dark side continues in every field, Maria. I definitely wouldn't want the onus to be on the film industry alone because I belong to this industry. I grew up in this industry. It's definitely very, very heartbreaking, disheartening to see this kind of attitude in cinema field where I probably was the most comfortable in. Yes, women have to stand up for themselves. Yes, women have to come out and speak. And yes, those who are responsible for this should be punished. The culprits should be punished. Nobody should go scot-free. When a woman is abused in any which ways, no culprit should go scot-free. They should be punished in the most befitting reply, as a reply to the girls or to the women who have been through this ordeal.
And, you say, why did you do it? What made you do it? These are always questions that are asked to survivors, The fear of being shamed, victim blaming. These are the questions that is asked. Would you say that, actors such as you who have seen through several of, women actors who came after you should be supporting them more and more with the posts, the kind that you have written today?
Yes, I think women should come out, and not only women. That's why I wrote that even men should come out and support, because we women work in an atmosphere hoping and thinking that probably men around us would be there to support us, to protect us. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen at times. And this is what this Hema Commission report says, that it doesn't happen that way. Men, women, they all have to come together. When you're talking about a problem in the family, all the other family members need to stand up and support each other, rather than saying that this is not my problem, this is not where I have been through, or I don't want to be part of this dirty, murkier area. I think we all need to stand together and support the women and make this film industry we talk about as the most entertaining industry in the world. I think we need to stand up and say that if there's dirt in my house, I need to clear it. I need to clean it. I need to make sure that it's sparkling clean.
Okay, tell us, about your own journey in the film industry. Were there some instances?
Very stray incident, very, very stray incident. And this is when I had just entered South Indian cinema. And there was a producer who approached me because I was here alone. I didn't have a godfather. I didn't know the language. I didn't know where the next meal is going to come from. So probably this producer must have thought that I will give in or I will succumb to the pressures or the problems at home. So he gave me a kind of a hint when he walked into my makeup room and I was shooting for a Telugu film. And I removed my slippers and I told him, I said, I wear 41. You'll take a whack right here, or you want me to hit you in front of the unit. And that put him in his place. So I think it's extreme. That is why I say that women have to stand up for themselves at the very moment. Earlier, probably 25 years ago, 30 years ago, cinema was considered not to be a place for women from good families. Today, you have girls who are highly educated from very, very affluent families coming into cinema. So they don't have to buckle under the pressure of making it big in any which ways. I think gone are those days. So I think women now who are far more privileged. See, the women who have been subjected to this kind of torture and assault, we need to understand that the first thing that hits them when somebody tries to act fresh with them or makes these kind of proposition for sexual favors in return of work, the first thing that hits her is, why me? The shock remains with her. So it's, why me? And then the second thing that gets into the mind is, I am going to be victim shamed. People will ask me, what did I do for this man to come and approach me? So, that fear remains, whether I will be accepted within the society, whether it's going to affect my work, Will this man work into kind of a nexus and tell others that don't cast me? But I would like to tell all these women around that no producer is a fool to invest crores of rupees just because you're going to do some, given to the pressures or for sexual favors and return of work. It doesn't work that way. Nobody is a fool. You will be taken for granted. You will be utilized. You will be used. You will be abused. So I think women have to stand up for themselves then and there and say, never ever I'm going to compromise on my dignity and my respectability.
Since you have mentioned about that incident that you faced yourself, where there was an indication or perhaps an indecent proposal, what happened after that, after you put your foot down? Was there
Nothing
a backlash?
Happened. Nothing happened. I did the best of films. I came into Tamil. I continued doing Telugu films. I continued doing Kannada films, Malayalam films, and people built a temple for me. So I continued. So nothing happened to my career. Nothing happened to me.
But if you look at the story that we are seeing here, there are several women who appeared, who deposed before this panel, female professionals who have worked in this industry, the Malayalam cinema, speaking up against sexual harassment, because something which was almost like unsaid, but it was happening. But we have seen some resignations or the entire committee being disbanded. Is that really a solution? I mean, people who are high and mighty like Mohanlal and others, shouldn't they be fixing the system rather than disbanding a unit which is supposed to be taking care of the interests of the artists?
No, I'm glad that Mohanlal and the entire Amma team has actually resigned, taking up as a moral responsibility for not being able to protect women at the right time. I think it takes a lot of courage, because here we see many people trying to stick into their places and say that, no, I'm not at fault, so I'm going to continue the position and the chair I occupy because this is important to me. I'm glad that somebody like Mr. Mohanlal had the courage and his entire team to quit from the position, because they realized that on moral grounds, they have failed somewhere to protect the women from their industry, from the Malayalam film industry, and they take up the onus on themselves and say that we are going to clean it up. So I think that's extremely important, and everywhere it should happen, not only film industry. How many IT members complain, how many people from the medical field or any other field for that matter come and complain about this kind of a sexual harassment from the hospitality department?
Absolutely.
So I think it's extremely important for women to stand up, and especially for men to take it up and say that, yes, I have failed somewhere and I am going to make sure that I do not repeat these mistakes, and I stand up for the woman who has been wronged.
And Khushbu Sundar, in this particular case, of course, it was the government which had set up this commission headed by Justice Hema, who interrogated and submitted this report. It obviously has taken 5 years for this report to come in the public domain. Do you think similar commissions of inquiry should be set up in other cinemas as well? Even Hollywood. I'm talking about Bollywood. Why not Bollywood, Tollywood, or all cinemas that exist, the regional cinemas as well?
Maria, I'm not going to break it into these brackets of Mollywood, Tollywood, Collywood, or anything else.
Yes.
I think Indian cinema, for that matter, and every department where women work. Today we are talking about gender equality. Today we are talking about women actually breaking the glass ceilings and flying high. So everywhere you see these kind of sexual harassments women are facing. So I think every department, every industry has to come together and say, we are going to set up a commission where women can feel free. In fact, for South Indian Nadigar Sangam, like for Tamil, I'm one of the executive members, and I have spoken to my president and said that we need to form a team. We need to have a committee where women can come and speak to us if they are subjected to any of these kind of sexual assaults or asked to ask for any kind of sexual favors. Women should come up. They should feel free to come and speak to us, because until and unless women do not speak out, we will not be able to find a solution and come to a resolution as to what needs to be done.
All right, Khushbu Sundar, appreciate your time here on NDTV. I'm glad that actors, veterans, I would say, like you, are coming out and supporting the artists.